What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video. This of course is going to be the top 10 best maps of all time in all of Call of Duty Zombies. This is all of Call of Duty Zombies, including Treyarch, including Sledgehammer, including Infinity Ward. So let's just jump into it. Coming in at the number 10 spot, this is a two-way tie. This is going to be a repeating pattern throughout this video and the next video, which is the worst maps. This is Tag der Toten and Call of the Dead. Now these two maps can go hand in hand. They both have positives and negatives that you can play into. For example, I think Call of the Dead is better than Tag der Toten because it has George Romero. But on the other hand, I think Tag der Toten is better than Call of the Dead because it has challenges. It also doesn't have the fog, so it actually looks good. And then I could also argue that Call of the Dead is better than Tag der Toten because I like the wonder weapons better. It can go back and forth the whole time, so I just decided to put them both at the same spot. So Call of the Dead and Tag der Toten, what I really like about both of these maps is that how you access the map, like how you get across the map, how you travel across the map. You have the zip lines, you have the flingers, you have all this stuff, and it's really good. I really love how transportation was used in this map, and it's such an interesting location. And I think Tag der Toten really built upon why Call of the Dead even exists in the first place. So I think both of those maps go hand in hand. I can go back and forth all day comparing the two on why one is better than the other. So anyways, Tag der Toten, Call of the Dead, coming in at the number 10 spot. Coming in into the number 9 spot, this is Buried. Now, I know a lot of people, including a lot of my friends, hate Buried, and they say all they can really tell me is that it's just too easy, and I can understand that. I can understand the reasoning on why they hate Buried. Another good reason that I hear why people hate Buried is because the setup is too annoying or tedious, and I would argue that you can apply that logic to any map. Der Eisendrache, the setup is too tedious. You gotta get the bows, you gotta feed the dragons every time. Mob of the Dead, you gotta get the plane parts every time. Doesn't matter. Why I love this map so much is the setting and the style of the map. I love the old Western vibe that you get from this map. And this map does really well if you ignore the bank. I know that's a huge criticism of the Victus maps in Black Ops 2 is just, it's too easy, you can just pull points from the bank. Just don't use the bank. I don't use the bank. I know there's that bullshit where, what is it called, like player, I don't know, it's like the player is going to use the easiest strategy no matter what. So I argue that Buried is one of my favorite maps because it is just so cool. I love Leroy. I love how you interact with him. Yes, it's annoying when you accidentally shoot him, but I would argue if you're going to use a strategy that makes a map really easy, then you don't need to worry about Leroy at all. So Buried, I love the ghost house, I love the maze, I love how Pack-a-Punch is like, it's a journey. I love when maps are a journey across. You feel like you're starting at one location and then you end up in a completely different area. That's why I love Zetsubou so much. It's not on the top 10 list, but I do love Zetsubou because of that reason. So Buried comes in at the number 9 spot. Coming in into the number 8 spot, this has to be 9. 9 is such a cool map. It is Kino der Toten, but done so much better. It is the only map to date that has pulled off the Black Ops 4 perk system properly. It is the only map that has made it work. Every other map, fuck it, right? If you put 9 in Black Ops 3, I feel like the map would not work because of how the perk system is so well laid out. I feel like the perks would just kind of interfere with the setting and the vibe of the map. But the fact that the perks are built around the map just make it so good. And I feel like 9 was the reason the Black Ops 4 perk system was created in the first place. So I have to give credit to that. The Easter egg is really cool once you get past the initial steps, once you actually start the Danu trial, it's actually such a cool Easter egg, and it's one of my favorite Call of Duty zombie bosses of all time. So that's why 9 comes in at the number 8 spot. Wouldn't it have been funny if I put 9 at the number 9 spot? I should have done that, fuck. Coming in into the number 7 spot, the most underrated map of all time, Zombies in Spaceland. And if you can unironically give me an argument for why Zombies in Spaceland is not a good map, fight me, I will kill you, right? Zombies in Spaceland, it is Infinity Ward's baby. You have to love the atmosphere that Zombies in Spaceland provides. Like, it's such a relief, especially when you were just coming off of Black Ops 3. It was just doom and gloom and Nikolai killing himself and then the end of the world and Primus disappearing, and then Infinity Ward just comes in with like, here's some goofy ass amusement park that you kill zombies in, kill some clowns, ride a roller coaster, fuck it, right? Kill zombies with bumper cars, slide down a silly slide. Just, it's such an interactive map. The arcade itself is such an innovative feature, and that's what I love about zombie maps, is when they truly innovate. And I forgot to mention the wonder weapons. Initially everyone thought that the Forge Freeze was the wonder weapon, and we all thought it was shit. But once you get the actual blasters in the map and you actually can fully double pack punch them, these things are crazy. They are crazy cool, they are crazy fun, they are goofy, and you have so many traps. I love the trap system in this map. Zombies in Spaceland is such a cool map. Like, I go back to it today and I'm just like, wow, we really didn't take Infinity Ward and Infinite Warfare Zombies for granted. Like, I feel like a lot of the hate surrounding the multiplayer and the campaign just overshadowed how well made Spaceland was. So that's why Spaceland is coming in at number 7. Number 6, Ancient Evil. This is the pinnacle of how Black Ops 4 Zombies should have been done right. Ancient Evil has such a great flow to the map, and that's why I don't like a lot of the Black Ops 4 maps, and that's why I like 9 so much. It flows so well. One of the reasons I do not like maps like Voyage and Blood of the Dead is because to get from one area to the next is so tedious. But you have to commend the maps like 9 and Alpha Omega that flow together so well. And the underworld section of the map is so cool, and it has one of my favorite Easter eggs ever. And if I make an Easter egg list video, you will definitely see that at the top spots. So Ancient Evil, it is such a cool map. I love the wonder weapons, and it is just, the atmosphere, it's like Shangri-La. It's like an easy Shangri-La. Shangri-La is such a cool map, but the difficulty gets in the way of it. So that's why I definitely think Ancient Evil is at the number 6 spot. Number 5, Shadows of Evil. Shadows of Evil is Treyarch's baby. The amount of detail that has went into that map, the amount of side Easter eggs and mini things that you would never think in a million years even existed. Trip mine upgrades, Little Arnie upgrades, the Margwa mask. There's just so much to this map, and the Easter egg itself is such a cool Easter egg, except for the last step. The last step is just kind of weird to look at, right? And I just got to round 100 on this map like a few days ago, so the freshness of this map and how much I enjoy it, it's still in my mind. So maybe I'm a little biased towards this decision, but if you go into Shadows of Evil, I don't care how complicated the map is to a beginner. You have to appreciate just the detail and the effort and how much there is to do in that map. It is, the layout itself is, by itself would be a top 10 map, but the amount of detail and the amount of environmental, just like the skyscrapers surrounding you, the tentacle monster on the top, it is just insane. Like, just imagine if they put the amount of effort they put into Shadows of Evil into just one map in Black Ops 4. Just think of that. That's why I think the launch maps of Black Ops 4 are so disappointing other than 9. Hands down, Shadows of Evil, number 5. Coming in at the number 4 spot, this has to be Gorod Krovi. Gorod Krovi is just Doris on mega steroids. If you watch the intro cutscene, it is just absolutely insane. It is just insanity. It's like Jason Blundell just took a line of coke real quick and then wrote down everything that went on in his brain. And he's like, here is the next zombies map. It is the perfect map for Nikolai. It is the perfect map. It takes place in Stalingrad during the war, with fucking dragons. Like, I will never understand the hate that this map got at launch, and I feel like it's just because Infinite Warfare was being announced at the same time. So Gorod Krovi is such an interesting, intricate map. It is so simple, but it also has so much to it. And the dragons are just that cherry on top that make Gorod Krovi such an enjoyable map. And the Mark IIIs are such a fun weapon to use. They're just fun. I don't care if they suck past round 50. They're just fun weapons to use. So Gorod Krovi coming in at number 4. Coming down into the number 3. You already know what the top 3 are. It's just where do I place them. Number 3 is Eisendrache. Oh my god, there has never been a more peak time for the zombies community. This is when the zombies community went from a side game mode community to the top. Shadows of Evil was the stepping stone of hype, and then Eisendrache just launched it into the stratosphere. Eisendrache is such a fun map. It is a combination of so many of the past great maps. Moon, Origins, Mob of the Dead, Ascension. It takes little elements from each of those maps, and it just makes it such an amazing combination of them all. Now, if you guys know me, I love Hollow Knight. It is such an amazing game because it does everything great, but it doesn't do anything perfectly. It does everything at 90%, but it doesn't do anything at 100%. However, there are games such as Doom, where it does the shooting at 100%, but not really much else is even anywhere close to 80%, if you understand what I mean. Eisendrache is the equivalent of that. It does everything at 90%. The Easter egg, the bows, the weapons, the map layout, everything is at 90%, but it doesn't do anything at 100%. And that's why Eisendrache is such a great map. So Eisendrache comes in at number 3. Number 2, Mob of the Dead. Good God, did Blood of the Dead just do this map dirty? Mob of the Dead compared to Blood of the Dead is such night and day. Mob is so enjoyable. The Afterlife mode was so innovative, and we really haven't seen a system like that since, other than Shadows of Evil. And that's really why I love this map, is because it's such a different map. It is so different than anything else. You compare it to a map in one of the Black Ops 1 maps, sure they have wacky settings, but nothing compares to just how much Mob of the Dead innovates. This was the first map where you could pick up multiple parts at the same time and you didn't have to drop anything. What the hell? And Mob of the Dead, just the process to get to Pack-a-Punch is just so cool, man. You take a plane, it really feels like a movie within the map. And if you know the Smith plays, you know that's his iconic line whenever he describes this map, right? It's a movie within a map, and it truly feels like that. I love the songs in this map. Rusty Cage and Where Are We Going? Such amazing songs. And let's not even forget Electric Cherry. Like the Electric Cherry Speed Cola Vitrolic Withering combo. Such an amazing combo. Like, how do you mess this map up? It is so enjoyable. I always have so much fun. You can always do something different. You can always get better at afterlife routes. You can always get better at training. in different spots. You can always get better at being more efficient. And I think there is not a more perfect example of perfection on this map than trying to get Juggernog on round 1. It is such a perfect example of min-maxing, and that's why our number 1 spot is absolutely should be at number 1, because it is min-maxing to the max. So Mob of the Dead, number 2 spot. And number 1, the most overrated map of all time according to the stupid Reddit. I don't care. This is Origins. Oh my god. What a cool map. This is literally min-maxing to the max. This map really launched the speedrunning community on zombies. Like, if you could say that you got sub 1 hour on Origins, you were considered a god, and I sucked your dick. Origins is just the first map and the perfect map. It is like the gold standard for everything else. This Origins is the map that you compare everything else to. Like, if you compared Origins to Eisendrache, you'd say, yeah, it did this, Eisendrache did this like Origins, but it didn't do this like Origins as well. So you can just argue that Origins is just the bar and every other map is trying to beat it, right? So anyways, this map is so cool because there's just so much to do, and that's why I love a lot of these top 10 maps. There's so much to do. You can always have a different experience every game. You don't have to get the staffs. You can just train in the crazy place, or you can get all the staffs, do the Easter egg, and then train in the crazy place. It's such a cool map, and the Panzers sound on Black Ops 2, unforgettable. I remember when I was a wee lad trying to learn Origins, and I would get really excited making it to No Man's Land. Like, that's how insane this map is you go back and play it on Black Ops 2, because I'm so used to Black Ops 3 Origins right now. I went back to Black Ops 2, good god, is it different. The 2-hit down system is just ruthless on that map. Not to mention the giant robots, the staffs, the way you upgrade the staffs. I love the upgrade systems for every staff. It's so unique. It's just, and I love the G-strikes. I love the Easter egg. What more could you want from a map? I cannot for the life of me see a reason other than it's tedious on why you wouldn't like Origins. It is just such a fun map, and is the ultimate definition of going on an adventure. You start in the trenches of World War I, and then you get out onto No Man's Land, and then you go into the church, and then it's like that's the first layer, right? The second layer is going down into these catacombs and exploring what's underground. And then the third layer is just going to the crazy place, this mystical place that doesn't even exist on Earth. It is just absolutely crazy. So that's why Origins, number 1 map. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. The next video is going to be top 10 worst maps.